Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Nickin' Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, joined by I am Jerrell, AJ the Villain, Geoff Klafter of the Happily Ever Klafter Morning Sports, Daily Sports Blog. I am Jerrell from Die Hard Giants Live Podcast. AJ from
DopeSoulSports Talk.
Hulk World, wherever he's coming from. Hulkamania, wherever he's coming from. Today, oh man, this is the first show of the new season, the first show of a new era, really. And it was on full display last night as the New York Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers at Madison Square Garden 119-111. Everybody played. The janitor got in there. The water boy got in there. I mean, it was just a lot of fun all around. Geoff and I did the lunchtime live recap show. Shout out to you, Geoff. Excellent. I think I'm going to get through the whole season because it's just easier when you have somebody with you, particularly somebody of your knowledge that you really add to the show. So I appreciate you doing the show with me for the rest of the season. But let's start with Jerrell and AJ, right? We kind of said a lot this morning. So what stood out for you player-wise, offense-wise, coaching-wise, whatever direction you want to go with it, and we'll just piggyback off of it.
Well, salute Steph, salute Geoff, AJ. Happy to be here as always. Salute to the chat. With me, to me, it was just the offense, man. Like after the first play of the game, the ball just swung around multiple times, and Jalen Brunson found an open jumper, I think, on the right side, a baseline in the corner. It was beautiful just from the start. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a good shooting game, obviously, but yeah, the offense, like I love the way the offense was. Cat, are we going to go into like individual players? Because there's something about Cat that's a little off to me.
Yeah, we'll go into individual players, but if you want to like gloss over it a little,
just a little, like his injury, like that. Like I'm not particularly fond of like athletes like telling people they're hurt and what the specific injury is. Like after the game, it was a little weird saying that he got a grade 2 quad strain, and then playing with a grade 2 quad strain in the first game of the season is a little weird. Seemed like he would have been limping or something a little bit more than he did. It's not like he looked like himself. It did seem like he was, hurt a little bit. But yeah, I don't like players doing stuff like that. I found that a little weird. Like, what was the point of having a built-in excuse like that when we won the game? So I didn't really like that. But overall, yeah, everybody chipped in. Mike Brown played 11 players. That's not normal for us. OG Anunoby had a real great game for him. I will talk about, I guess, how consistent that will be a little later. And Mikal Bridges, man, like the X factor that I had last year, disappointed me a little bit. But guess what? I'm picking him again. Like I think he's going to be the X factor this year, as well. But I think he's going to play a little better. He played a little more free. Mm-hmm. And overall, I like what I saw, but me, like 20 games, and that's when I know what this team will be like. So game 1 is in the books, and I thought we played well.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. AJ?
So to you guys, so to the chat, nice show earlier today. I really enjoyed it. And Queen, I had the earbuds on, and nobody knew what I was doing.
Yep, me too. I was at work chilling.
Can I start with a little gripe before I talk about the game?
Oh boy, you want to take the edge off the high? Go ahead.
No. I want to get it out the way, then we'll talk about the game.
But I say what somebody in Cleveland said, AJ.
No, that Cleveland. No, that Queen would tell you that. Queen,
I watched the show.
Moonlighting on the Cleveland show.
Yo, I forgot Steph is like a half Cleveland fan. I forgot.
I'm not. But I love that.
She's a half cap fan.
They the enemy, Steph. Just remember that.
No, I just like that show. Even though they Cavs fan, they just tell it like it is
I get it.
when they're talking about the Cavaliers. They are not feeling Jared Allen right now. But go ahead.
That is good. We like somebody over there come report to us what they saying.
Yeah,
Right.
It's good to have infiltration over there. So of course, yes, the game yesterday was on ESPN. First of all, I have an ESPN package, like with the Disney and the Hulu. That's not enough to watch the game, because when I go in, my account says get access. So I guess I got to pay more to get those games. But I got my other ways to watch the game. I still have MSG. I just wanted to see what's going on ESPN.
Yeah.
And I was kind of happy when the NBA, like when they signed a new deal with NBC, bring on NBC. Because I remember back in the days, and NBA on NBC was like really awesome.
Yeah.
Because you think you get new faces, man. They bring in the old people, and the old Knick haters. I'm like, give me a break, man. Can we get some? Jamal Crawford was calling the game. Yeah, that's good. That was refreshing. But then he was with Reggie Miller. I'm like, come on. Well, Reggie Miller was always over there with ESPN, but they still got the Chuck nonsense and the Kenny.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, can we get a break from these people? Give somebody else a chance, man. They do have other people, on NBC, but ESPN bought the same old TNT crew. I really don't want to see those guys anymore, man. But whatever. I don't watch them all the time. I only watch them when the game's not on MSG. So that was my gripe. Now, the game, the good stuff. I was happy with a couple of things in the game. And you guys did mention the fact that when the game, so the rotation was insane, right? Like the amount of players getting, the amount of minutes that they're getting, like, as Jerrell said, this is the start of a new era. Obviously, it's not the same thing going on. But one thing I liked is the fact that not the starters, like it's a little mix, mostly bench players and starters, when they lost the lead, when they were losing the lead, Mike Brown called a timeout and he came back with the same guys. Y'all figure it out. You guys figure out how to get that lead back up. And they did. And I like that. That installs confidence in your guys. Like everyone that played on the team yesterday, understand that coach trusts them and they're going to be playing their hearts out for that coach. I believe that. Because he's showing these guys that I believe no matter what's going on in the game, I trust you guys. I don't have to remove Kolick and put Brunson because we lose, because the game is, the lead is shrinking. That's one of the major things that happened yesterday. It's a different ball game with this, with this guy. And of course, there are little things we talk about, the fact that Mikal Bridges is doing a lot of bringing the ball up across the line. And there's a lot of other little things. OG Anunoby, obviously, I think it's going to be a conscious effort to have him be more of a rebounder and more part of the offense, not just the guy who, when there's no other option, he gets the ball in the corner. Like he's actually really they're going to be calling plays for him. I think we're going to see a lot of that. So there's a few things here to dissect when we talk about this.
Yeah, for sure. Geoff, did you want to add anything maybe that you didn't talk about earlier?
Just a couple things. First, I think Pablo Torres is going to be putting out an investigation that the Knicks used 11 players in a game, because I don't know that we're allowed to do that. We'll probably lose a second-round draft pick or something if we're playing too many rotation guys. But I saw I had mentioned something on the noontime show that I didn't know the answer to, but I came across it on Twitter, so I wanted to share it. Jalen Brunson had 7 catch and shoot 3-point opportunities last night. It's the most he's had in his entire tenure as a Knick.
Wow.
Think about that. Now, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat last night, but the point is, those are good shots. Not only are they good shots, they're great shots, because the other number that was in that same tweet was that the average space provided for him per shot was 5 feet.
Nice.
That's the closest defender was within 5 feet. That tells me that he's getting wide open looks at the basket, and time is gonna, the percentages are going to work themselves out. And when he starts hitting those things at 40%, like he does for his career, that's a wrap, man. That's going to be big time for this offense. We didn't shoot the ball well last night. We had 119 points. And I think that those two stats really kind of show the effectiveness of whatever you want to call it, the space and pace, 5 out. It's not pure 5 out, but whatever. We did have some from actual 5 out lineups out there. And the other thing that I would mention is piggyback of what Ajay said, which was really smart in my opinion. And that's that the 14-0 run that put the game away was with Jalen Brunson on the bench.
Right.
I think that's a good sign for us, because if we can go on those runs, and we got smacked in the mouth, they came back, they took the lead on us. We didn't fold like a picnic table. We stayed strong. We fought through it, and then they took control of the game, and they never let go of the rope. They stayed on it, and they closed strong, all of which in game one are good signs in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. To your point about the looks that Jalen Brunson got, I wouldn't be surprised if when we looked into it statistically that was the same for the team, just for others on the team, just in terms of the space that they on the catch and shoot. Because again, once you get into the key, things collapse. It creates a lot of space, and the Knicks were getting deep. Was it OG or Bridges? Somebody got to the rim. I thought they was going to take a layup, and then they hit somebody in the right corner. I said, okay, we going this deep and spraying it out. So they are getting good looks. They want to take 43 pointers per game. They got that. Mike Brown wants to get about 20 sprays per game. He got 21. So and it's only going to get better, and every game will be different, right? But last night, it was really, really good. We were down 2 starters, and I think, listen, he even said, don't expect me to play 11, every night. But early in the season, I think it's good, to Ajay's point, instilling confidence, in people, leaving them out there, putting them out there in the first place. What do you think of the decision to start Hukporti over a guard? Like, I was thinking, maybe he's doing that because he's just trying to, keep Karl-Anthony Towns starting in that power forward spot, because when Mitch gets back, that's how we're going to start the game. So let's get comfortable with that. But, did you guys have any other thought about why Hukporti started?
So I think it's because of who we were playing against. We're playing against a big team. We have big guys up front. So if you start with a guard and you have Mobley and Allen up top, you're already at disadvantage. So I think that's mainly the reason.
Okay, all right. We'll see tonight, right, if he goes different. Because I think at power forward, at least against Philly, Boston started Sam Hauser, and I believe he's 6'7", 6'8". So if he still goes big, then we know that, this, it's because of that. Where do you guys want to start in terms of breaking down perform? Well, let me start here. In terms of, before we get into individual players, we talked about the pace was good, the lineups, trusting guys. Anything else on the macro level that you guys saw and liked and may want to comment on?
The defense was good.
The defense.
I really thought the defense was good. I mean, yeah, sure, Donovan Mitchell went on a heater in the third quarter, like 9 for 9, but that wasn't sustainable for them. And the other 3 quarters of the game, I thought the Knicks played solid defense. They were where they were supposed to be. We got good minutes from Hukporti and Jamison, and I think the defensive rating for that starting unit was like 147.1 or something ridiculous. A really good defensive rating. So they did an outstanding job. They were the Cleveland, the injuries and their players missing, they have a lot of guys who can hurt you and do some damage. So other than that, hot stretch by Mitchell, he was like 3 of 16 from the field. I think you live with that, and you know, so I thought that was good. The rebounding was terrific.
Rebounding was really good,
especially from OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns. Towns we expected. OG was a bit of a surprise in a good way. So, but all of those things bode well for a, you know, it's a system that they're learning. So.
Yeah, and Bridges too, I think, had 5 rebounds. You know, in addition to 6. I mean, you could probably say it's not a lot, but he was getting like 1 or 2, right? So, you know, he had 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah, I mean, let's get into the players. I guess we'll start with, I mean, the notable performances to me was OG, McBride, and Mikal Bridges. Where do you guys want to start?
I think we should start with maybe Deuce, because I was about to bring him up anyway.
Okay.
I think when, you know, before the season started, everybody thought that he was going to be the one who took a back seat. Deuce played 26 minutes last night.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Porty started, he only played 18 minutes. Like, they went small rather quickly. Between Jamison and Porty, I think they played like, what, 24, 25 minutes total. Right. So, you know, we went small for the most part anyway. And Deuce McBride had a hell of a game, man. And like, if he's going to continue to shoot like that and actually, you know, shoot with the confidence that he had, then sky's the limit for him. Like, you know, everybody's going to be talking about 6 Men of the Year trophy for him, just like we did quickly a few years ago.
Yeah. I think Deuce is always confident. I think the difference was that the shots were falling.
Right.
Because he's gonna always take them, right? But
and the quality of the shots too, though, like you were talking about, though, Queen.
Yep.
I think that if you're going to give him wide open looks, I think those percentages are going to go up, because he can shoot the ball, if you know, but he's not very tall. So if you get a hand in his face, those percentages are going to dip. But if he's getting the same space that Brunson's getting, 5 feet, I mean, that's just like practice, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, for sure. Yeah, listen. If you watch the lunchtime show, you know, I pretty much said it all there. He played within himself. He played to his strengths. Put it that way. He played to his strengths: catch and shoot, defense, getting in the passing lanes, and the Knicks defense. You know, not only were they getting to their spots, but they were very active. And they were aggressive. They were aggressive at getting into the passing lanes. When somebody dribbled, they try to come over. You know, it happened just a few times. If a big is dribbling with their back, just come over and just snatch it. Like I think McBride did to Randall during that Minnesota preseason game. So just kind of taking chances on the defensive end. The freedom, it seems like, to take those chances. So yeah, I thought McBride was good both offensively and defensively. You know, if we moving on to Bridges, kind of, I don't know if he slowed down in the second half. He might have, but in that first half, my goodness, it was like the Mikal Bridges show, handling the ball, steals, finishing, the turnaround, mid-range. Yeah, he was just, you know, he was just on it. Thoughts on him?
Yeah, it's not like he was on fire. He only scored 16 points, but those 16 points were so impactful in the way that he did it. Like, if he continues to play like that, Mikal Bridges is going to be an all-star, just like Jalen Brunson and Cat was last year. Like, I think sky's the limit for him if he actually plays like that and, you know, actually be consistent with it like he wasn't last year.
Did he get those 16 in the first half?
I don't know. Like,
That's when he was cooking.
Right.
He was like 4 for 4 to start the game. He was really hot to start, and then he cooled off after that. I think he went like 2 of 6 or 2 of 7 on their.
We lost that.
Uh-oh. Forgot to pay the internet bill again.
As soon as Mikal Bridges have a good game, stuff start acting crazy.
That's his potential,
No, but
though, right?
I don't think all 16. I'm trying to find out, but I don't think all 16 were in the first half. He did have some activity in the second half. But what's really cool with Mikal Bridges is that his his offensive output does not affect his defense somehow. Like he's able to balance it on both ends of the court because there's some pretty good defensive sequences where he was like in the middle of, like he was in the middle of the pack, like a lot of activities, throwing hand, getting the passing lane, blocking shots, and doing all that stuff. So the 16 points didn't affect him defensively. I thought that was really, really good with him.
Yeah, he just looks like another player, both offensively and defensively. Moving around, point of attack, guarding wings, free safety. Yeah, he just has a elevated role. You could tell he has an elevated role on his team, and he's ready for it.
And taking him off ball on defense is like taking Brunson off ball on offense, right?
Right.
It really opens up and allows him to do those freelance things, which he's so good at, like helping have a pick and roll and those sorts of things. And, it's almost like when he and OG are in full swing, it's like having an extra defender out there. And we need one with the way that Brunson and Cat typically defend. It's good to be able to balance that out with two guys with length and savvy to protect the passing line.
Yeah. For sure. What about, wow, the energy seems down. I know I'm tired. But the energy seems so subdued on there. We won.
No, it is. I think
it's also just game one. Like this is a team with championship expectations. We're 1-0. Like it's not like we're not gonna be like. There are some seasons where one win was hard to come by. This should not be one of them, right?
Right. And plus, you and Geoff already did a show about this earlier today, and it wasn't that long ago. Like it was just 7 hours ago.
Right. Yeah.
7-8 hours ago.
For sure. Let's talk about whether OG's performance is sustainable. Geoff said something on the show at lunchtime that, what we saw from Mikal Bridges, there's nothing there that's not sustainable. What we saw from Miles McBride, nothing there that's not sustainable. OG Anunoby is, what we saw from him sustainable?
I'll go first. Absolutely not. OG has to show me. Like he's one of the most inconsistent players that I've ever rooted for. Like he's been like this ever since he's came into the league. That's why he's inconsistent. Like he averaged 18 points, not because he scored 18 points every game last year. Like he wasn't consistent. Like OG at one point he was giving us like 25 to 30 points for a stretch and then completely disappeared on offense sometimes. His rebounding, 14 rebounds. I don't expect him to get that again. I think that was his career high. Geoff mentioned that earlier on the show. But is he capable of doing all this stuff? Yes. I still haven't seen him do it on a regular basis yet. That's what I'm waiting for. Because if you're just going to go by his ceiling, yeah, that's OG Anunoby. He's an all-star. Like he top-notch defense, really, really sharp on offense when he actually gets going. But yeah, he has to show me to be consistent. Kind of like Bridges too. Like Bridges did it more consistently throughout his career on other teams, but for this team, he has to be consistent too. We haven't seen that yet.
Do you think the system will help him though? It's more free flowing in terms of ball movement, player movement. Anybody can bring the ball down. It seems like. Do you think that can help unlock him offensively at least?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I still think it's on him though, because since it's free flowing, I just don't want to see him take a back seat and just remain aggressive. But the offense will help everybody, I think, especially Jalen Brunson, but OG Anunoby too.
Yeah. Ajay, do you think what we saw from OG is sustainable?
So listen, I think it is sustainable. Maybe, every player is going to have games where they suck, right? But I think overall, Jerrell, you said it. He's capable of doing it. So you just need the I don't know, like your coach to have that trust in you to push you. You know, these guys are athletes. You gotta remember, day in and day out, they're playing ball. So sometimes you need that extra, that little extra push from somebody, be it a teammate or the captain. I don't know, somebody, assistant coach. Just like Julius Randle, like he, at some point he had Kenny Payne. He give him that extra push, make him better. Sometimes you need that person. Listen, he's capable of doing it. He did it game one. We've seen him have games last season where he was unstoppable, right? I think he's capable of doing it more consistently. So I'm just gonna waver that he is gonna do that this season. Yeah, every now and then we're gonna see a bad game from him, but overall he's gonna have a very good season. But my God, that slip and fall. I mean, that was a violent fall. It's like papa. I mean, he hit the ground so hard. I'm like, oh no, we already don't have Mitch. But he got right back up, and went the other way, so everything was fine. Hopefully, he plays tomorrow. We don't, he's not on the game time decision list tomorrow because of that fall. But that was a very hard fall, man. But yeah, and he falls a lot, but. Hopefully, last season he was generally healthy, right? And OG Anunoby, for somebody who throughout his career have not had great health, so he's been good. So I think he's gonna have a very good season. It's sustainable. I think we're gonna be fine with him.
I don't know if the stats are sustainable. I think his process is sustainable. I think that part is sustainable. Whether that's going to equal 24 points or not, I'm not sure. And by his process I see him, every game, driving and kicking. I see him every game. If others drive and they kick it out to him, he'll take the shot. I think, in terms of what he does defensively, I don't think that's going to change game in and game out. And I think he'll be a better rebounder this season because I believe it's specifically being asked of him to rebound. So will that be 24 and 14 every night? No, but I think we're going to see OG driving, kicking, catch and shoot, just playing. And he did this within the flow of the game, right? I didn't get the sense that he was forcing it or anything. It came to him. He shot it. It went in. So I think the process is sustainable. Whether or not that's going to equal, I mean, he took 17 shots. I don't think that's, I don't know if he gets 17 shots per game. Geoff?
Well, a couple things. First, the rebounding is, to me, a statistical outlier. I mean, that's like triple his output from what he averaged per game last season. So I think it's pretty safe to say that he's not going to be a double-digit rebounder. You don't just wake up one morning and become a double-digit rebounder any more than you wake up one morning and can run a marathon, right? And so I think it's pretty safe to say on that. And the other thing is he's not a player who really creates his own shot. So it'll be interesting to see if the system continues to generate that volume of looks for him where he can put up that many shots, or if it just so happened to be that was who was the open guy on the first night, and so the next time it may be somebody else, right? And so that's, I think, something that we can look at and kind of study and analyze. But I kind of have a feeling that and we've seen, every time he seems to get 17 to 20 shots, he usually has a game like that because he doesn't usually shoot that much unless he's feeling it, right? And so, I think you'll have some games where he does this. Like when Jalen was hurt last year, I thought he and Bridges both kind of picked up their share of the load, so to speak. But what do we have, 5 guys in double figures last night? I think that's going to be kind of the norm, and sometimes it's going to be him with 24, and sometimes that's going to be him with 10. Right. And I think that's kind of going to go for all of because that's what the spray and pray is all about. You gotta
Pray and pray.
you gotta get the ball, get into the paint and then just kick it out to whomever they leave open. And that could be Bridges, that could be Brunson, that could be OG. Of the shooters on the floor with the starters, OG's probably the one that you'd want to leave open the most, because I think he's probably he or Bridges would be the lowest percentage shooter who would quote unquote hurt you the least. So I could see that. But again, he can hurt you other ways. He can attack a closeout. It's not like he's incapable of doing that. We've seen him do that before. He's just not the kind of guy who's going to be creating his own shot off the dribble, and we don't want him to do that.
He's not, but neither is Deuce, right?
Yeah,
but
true.
if you give Deuce clean looks, he's going to knock him down. And I think if you give OG Anunoby clean looks, he's going to knock it down as well. Again, I'm not expecting 24 points and 14 rebounds, but I think his rebounding totals will be up. And I think, I mean, what's consistent? Like when you guys say consistent, you expecting consistency in role, consistency in terms of how many points he scores every night? Like, what does consistency look like for you?
I'd say in role, like you said, and like I said, he's not going to be hitting those shots every night. He's not going to be, he's probably going to be as aggressive, and I think they're going to call plays for him more often than not, as opposed to I don't know if Tibbs called plays for him down the stretch, but I think there's going to be times, especially when Brunson's not on the floor, or even if Brunson's on the floor. So it's going to be a mix and match with Coach Brown, in terms of calling plays for guys. Mikal Bridges is going to have some plays called for him too. Of course, not as often as Cat or Brunson, but those guys are going to have plays called for them.
But don't you consider Bridges a much more of a 3-level scorer than OG, or am I misconstruing their skill set?
No, you're probably right. No, yeah, I feel like Bridges is more reliable, definitely. But that's not to say that, because sometimes OG is going to be the scorer on the floor, depending on what lineup you have out there. So it's good for him to get in that mode, in that practice of being the guy, being aggressive on offense, because sometimes the team's actually going to need him to be.
Do you think, though, the thing about OG is he doesn't really have a great handle. So like he's somebody that gets his points hodgepodge. Like he might get a few transition buckets, he might hit a few 3-pointers, he might get a breakaway. Hodgepodge, like different ways. Because he can't create his own shot, though, do you think he would ever be the primary scorer, like in a lineup that Mike Brown puts out?
He shouldn't be. We should have at least one of Cat, Brunson, or Bridges on the floor at all times. And I would say, for as far as creating their own shot goes, Clarkson is more adept at that role, even though he's not efficient. Like he can get to whatever spot he wants to on the floor with his dribble. And I don't know that you could say that about OG Anunoby. You know what I mean? So I would probably put him at 5th on the list, but I would maybe even 6th. Probably 5th though. Josh Hart, though, I think can do the things off the dribble better than he can also. So, and I think if he's healthy, you kind of throw that name in there too. So I think there's a lot of guys who you would have in that role more so than him, even though Hart doesn't really look to score, but he uses his dribble to create looks for other people and get triple doubles.
I will say this. If he doesn't have a handle and can take people off the dribble, I don't think anybody told him. Because he when he tries it, right? You
ain't lying.
He will get in there, do it, turn around, fade away, jumpers. Nobody told him he didn't have a handle, because he goes out there and he plays and he drives and does all of these things like he does.
Especially when he back up and you see it coming.
Oh, that's shades of RJ. Remember when RJ used to go and then dribble all the way back out?
It was like one of those wind-up toys that you pull back the car and then it goes.
That was Queen's favorite move from RJ. I think you missed all that when he left.
Turn on a Raptors game and see it if she misses it.
You are already there. Where are you going? Yeah.
But let me ask a question though. Does he? I mean, him not having a handle. Why does that mean he can't be the main scorer or the guy who they call play for? It could be the guy. It could be even if they spot him up somewhere. You know, it's like do all this over here, but you know the final play is going to OG Anunoby to take the shot.
Meaning like he comes off like a catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Or they set a screen and they catch him going downhill and pass him.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
That could be a play call for him. He
because
does
it's dependent upon other people getting him the ball and is scoring spots, right?
Okay.
So I think that's difficult to be the primary option when that is the case. Like and it's not impossible, but it's difficult when you have to be set up. It's a lot different than someone who can create those opportunities on their own. Like Towns is really good at. Brunson is excellent at. Bridges even and is can get to his bag in the mid range anytime he wants. So I think Anunoby is more a player that has to be set up by the offense, and those are typically not your guys who are the hubs of your offense. It's not the 1990s where you're just pitching the ball into the big man every play, right? Like Stockton and Malone, or handing the ball, getting the ball in the post to Ewing or something like that. The game's just not like that anymore.
Right.
But I get his point. I just don't know how efficient it would be. I get your point. There are some teams who have a scorer who can't dribble and they're running them off of multiple screens, to get them the ball on, for a catch and shoot. Or, we used to do this with RJ, run him off of something so that we can get him, going downhill. I think we did that for OG as well. I just think it takes more time, and you got to have, players in the game, where you practice that. We set the screen from OG. This is the OG play. And for a player of OG's ilk, is that something you want to do? Like, is that something you want to put time into developing plays for him? Maybe one or two, to get him downhill or something like that. But lineups in which he's going to be your best offensive player and he's the one you're going to time after time.
You better be stopping somebody is all I got to say.
True.
Well, if he's the primary offensive player, I would assume he's in there surrounded by defenders, right?
It ain't necessarily so.
Yeah. I mean, if he's in there with other offensive players, I don't know if he would be your primary option, but
no, he wouldn't be. Spot up shooters aren't usually the primary scorers on the team, though.
Yeah.
For all the reasons that you said before.
Yeah. But AJ, he'll get a play or two and run, probably run for him. Don't you worry.
But I mean, Jerrell, when you look at Golden State, when Klay Thompson, like he played a lot of spot shooter role.
He won their number one scorer.
But at times he was, and still spot shooter. I understand it's a different team, different structure, but they did that a lot with him.
And that's comparing him to like one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Like soon as like Klay Thompson was like scoring 30 without dribbling the ball at all. Yeah. Like that's rare. Like that doesn't happen often.
That's one of one. That's not just that's not just rare is an understatement like that.
Yeah, the stuff that he was doing was like legendary the way that he was playing at one point. I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, but I'm saying they could actually run something like that. And Mike Brown, especially Mike Brown too, who's been in those kind of systems. I don't put that past him at all.
But he could. I guess the question is why. Like you can run plays where you get OG, in the post where he screened off and you get him in the post and you get him the ball there, you get him cutting across the middle, for a shot. I mean, you can run those plays. I guess the question is why? Because you just have so many other options on this team. He can just get his off of everybody else. Like why would you? What's the point of running plays for him?
Just one or two to let him eat, I get, but like not like a consistent, like every time down the floor kind of a thing. But if you want to do it for, a couple plays to get him going,
yeah,
that's fine, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. Probably just to get him going, because like I said before, sometimes he disappears. Got to get him going somehow. Sometimes maybe you got to force it, just for him to actually be comfortable shooting the ball down the stretch. Like I like to get OG Anunoby like the ball to him and him start scoring like early as possible, just so he could be comfortable at the end of the game.
Right. That's fair. Let's talk about the 11 players that were played, and more specifically the different lineups. I think we saw everything in there. We saw the starters in there with the man from the hot dog stand. We saw the janitor and the bathroom attendant. A lot of different lineups, 3-guard lineups, backcourts that really weren't defensive minded. Just your thoughts on the different lineups that were, because we talked about there's no way Brunson and Klafter is going to play together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like a 3-guard lineup, but they were out there plenty, and we should get used to it because we don't really have a lot of bench depth in terms of length. So there will be, I think that's going to be a staple, 3-guard lineups. But just your thoughts on the different lineups that were thrown out. Jemison, it's Jemison, right? Not Jameson. I think it's Jemison, Gem, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's Jem. I don't know if it's pronounced Jemison or Jameson, but
okay.
JJ said he prefers Jameson to Jemison.
I remember that.
So I saw that this afternoon. Thought it was a little bit early in the morning for Jameson. JJ, call me if you need. We need to talk about that.
Yeah. We had some Jemison lineups. We got to talk about Kolick, right? But just your thoughts on the different lineups that were put out there.
It's
I
fantastic.
think, I was about to say the same thing, Jeff. Well, I think it's just what a new coach for a new team is supposed to do. Like that's exactly what Mike Brown is supposed to do, and I think that's going to continue at least until he finds out what he actually likes. The fact that we actually didn't even play that well in large stretches of the game, and we ended up winning. Like Jeff said earlier, that Brunson didn't have a good game, Cat didn't particularly have a good game, and we scored 119 points. Playing 11 players with multiple lineups that we'd never seen. The fact that we won a game against Cleveland, I know they missing a couple players too, but the fact that we won and how we won, that was very, very impressive win to me. So I think the different type of lineups is going to keep coming. And like I said, I always wait till like 20 games to see what this identity is. I think Mike Brown might do the exact same thing. It might not be 20 games, but it's going to take a while for him to actually get the rotations how he wants to get them, and he's just figuring stuff out.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you're missing 2 rotation pieces, right?
Right.
Yeah. And anybody else want to comment on that? Just the different lineups.
I think one common thing in all the lineups that they use is that the team is resilient, right? Because you keep getting that lead and the Cavs keep coming, and no matter who we had out there, we found a way to. I mean, at some point, I think they even took a 1 or 2 point lead or whatever, but we kept coming, and it wasn't even, it wasn't the same. So he made like one small change in the lineup, like just keep most of the guys out there, just switch one guy out. But no matter what group you had out there, they took the beating together. Then they came back together. They were very resilient together. But that Jameson, that was, I was surprised that he got, I was very surprised that guy got time. But I don't know. Let's see what happens next few games.
Yeah, and to your point, Ajay, it was the timely shooting. Like
Yeah.
Mike Brown didn't panic, in terms of hustling the starters, back then. And listen, I wouldn't blame him if he did, but he didn't. I think that instills confidence. And we got timely shooting. Like Deuce 2 or 3 times when they dug into the lead and when they took the lead, hit big shots for us. And that's what you're gonna need on a run to a championship.
Yeah.
We could talk offenses and defenses, but at some point you're gonna have to make some big shots. So yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
Geoff, thoughts on the different lineups?
Well, I think first of all that you're going to see a ton of 3 guards because that's what we have more than anything. I thought it was actually telling that Paco Daddier did not play. Right, you'd have figured that he's at a little bit more size. He might be, someone who would scratch the lineup ahead of guys like Jemison and Kolek even, but that wasn't the case. Mike Brown was clearly comfortable with Kolek in a backup point guard role. That is clear. Although I'm not sure if Mitch and Josh Hart are healthy, if he still gets those minutes or not. That'll be interesting moving forward, what happens with that. But, I like the insertion of Jemison. I thought he was really good. He moved his feet well defensively. I thought Huckporty played extremely well. I think that him starting was just a case of they want Cat to get used to starting the game off at the 4, like we said earlier. And then, but the closing lineup had Deuce and those other 4 starters. So, and I think you may see a lot of that even when Mitch and Hart are healthy, because I think that may be our best lineup as far as versatility is concerned. But it gives the most problems probably on both ends of the floor. I mean, I like what it does on offense and defense. So, and you don't have to worry about, like with Mitch, you don't have to worry about, hack a Mitch or anything like that. All those guys, knock on wood, are pretty decent at the charity stripe. You got Deuce at the point of attack defender, which allows both Bridges and Anunoby to roam a little bit defensively, and we know what a blessing that is, and it helps cover for Brunson and Cat. And then you have all of the weapons on the floor. Everybody can shoot. And so it just makes this a very dynamic team. So I like the closing lineup, and I think it'll be interesting to see which lineups he settles in on and that he really likes, because he's really trying a lot of different stuff, which he should, because he's new to this team, right? You gotta look at different things and see if you like it and see if you don't. Like what does it look like OG Anunoby at the 5? That was a surprise to me, but it's not, if you're going against a team that's playing small, it's not a bad idea to be able to go to that and trust that. So right now, go for it. And then, as Jerrell said, after about 20 games, kind of settle into, because I think having defined roles is important. I don't think we want to go through the whole season where, you don't know if you're going to play this night or that. You know what I mean? I think having some kind of, standard is good, so expectations can be set and met.
Yeah, I mean, I don't reps matter. Chemistry matters. I think he'll get the rotation down to, like he said, 9.5, 10. Where that 10th guy is playing, I don't know, 12 to 15 minutes. But what I'm seeing and what I hope continues is, if we have a big lead, let those guys rock. If we're getting blown out, maybe we pull the plug. If we're up 20, maybe he's not afraid to put in other guys. Then if the lead dwindles, then bring your starters, back in. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch. Today, the content creators, this is like a praise meeting. Let us lose to Boston, then we're gonna be having therapy sessions. That's just how it is. Up and down. If, and I asked Geoff this question earlier, if Mitch has to miss a lot of time, are you comfortable with Hukporty and Jemison in those minutes?
We'll have to be. We don't really got a choice now, man. Like, especially since we don't know what's going on with Mitch. You don't know if he's going to be gone short term or long term. They're saying load management. That absolutely makes no sense for the first game of the season, and he barely played the preseason. So yeah, I think it's okay. Like they're both backup bigs to me. I don't know that much or have seen Trey Jemison III play that much, but he gave us good minutes. He hustled. Obviously he's not a scorer, but yeah, he played okay. Porter, I think, is going to get better as he keep playing, but he's not. I don't know. He's not like Dadier. I think Dadier will get a lot better as he keeps playing for real because he's so young. Porter, I think he might is what he is, but we'll see.
Yeah. He did have that nice backdoor pass to Brunson, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jerrell was like, I saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
What?
And he got the Jericho Swims treatment already.
Right, like we got to do more than like one play for but he didn't. It's not like he played a whole bunch of minutes.
Like we still used to centers not being able to just make a win.
Right. I mean the play was cool, but it's not like I wouldn't put it on his highlight.
I was impressed. I was like, wow.
Look at what you were impressed by. A backdoor pass by center. That's it. But yeah, it was cool. It was a good pass. No, I'm not trying to crap on him right now. It's all good.
Jerrell is like this. He's like,
it's the first game of the season.
Bring it down, Knick family. Bring it down.
I don't get me wrong. I like being hyped up. I love the fact that we won. I like the way that we won. Game 1, and we got 81 of these to go. And you know how we get, man. Like we watch every single game, every single minute. I can't psych myself up right now for no one game. Can't do it.
You sound like that's what Kareem said to Magic. They won the first game of the season. Magic was all over his neck and everything.
Yeah, we don't do that here. Chill out.
We got 81 more games.
He won the first game. He thought he won the championship all over again. Like, nah, man. This ain't college, man. Chill out. You ain't in Michigan State no more. You ain't win no Final Four or nothing. It's just one game. And we got a lot to go.
Yeah. I think we'll be okay because I think listen, Hukporty is not Mitch, right? Defensively. I with that pass though, it just helped me see offensively. You might get a little bit more out of him just in terms of moving the offense along, but he's not Mitch on the defensive end. But I don't think he has to be. I just think we have so many other players on this team that can step up. If he just rebounds, play good defense, sets good screens, that's it. That's your role. Just do that well, and everybody else will fill in around him. So, obviously the ceiling raises when Mitch comes back, but I still think the Knicks can be successful with those two now. Now, you already know. I would love to have an experienced big, an experienced point, but it is what it is. This is who we're working with. And I think if they just do what they can do to the best of their ability, I think we can fill in around them. Geoff, anything on Hukporty before we move to Kolek?
Well, even if you're not a huge fan of Hukporty, or if you think Jemison outplayed him, Jemison's on a 2-way contract, so he's not going to be like he has a maximum number of games that he can appear in just based on his contract. He has to split time between us and the G League. Just throwing that out there. So remember, Hukporty's going to be the guy, and it's fine. Is it ideal? No, but I think he showed he doesn't kill you when he's out. I thought he did a decent job while he was out there. He's not an offensive threat by any stretch of the imagination, but he did make a couple nice passes. His rebounding was pretty good, and I thought he was active on the offensive glass, even though he didn't really come away with any of those. I thought you made a good point about that this morning when we were talking about the game. So is it ideal? No, but I mean, if it's Huck and Cat, I think it works. We'll just live with it.
Listen, I think we're just gonna have to get used to it. We don't know how much time Mitch is gonna get. When he does come back, he's probably gonna be load managed. He's not gonna play back to backs. Huck Porty is probably, him and Mitch will be sharing minutes. Basically. So he's gonna be, I don't know how much he plays if Mitch plays, but again, when Mitch doesn't play, I think he's the guy.
Absolutely.
Geoff, real quick, for the two-way play, do you know how many games that is?
I would have to look it up.
Is it 40 or 52?
I honestly don't know. I just know that it is a certain number. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's less than half the season, but it may be more now because I think they changed it along the way. So it was 50. Nick Yak is saying so. I would certainly trust that's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, let's talk about Kolek. He played, was it 13, 14 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like whatever minutes Brunson didn't play, he was there, he played. And to Geoff's point, that reeks of at this point, or in this game at least, being the backup point guard. Your thoughts on his performance last night, and how comfortable are you with him in that position going forward?
I think it was solid, man. Like the fact that he played just as many minutes, or maybe a little bit over Jordan Clarkson, was amazing to me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't know how many minutes Clarkson played, but it looked like Tyler Kolek played a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was solid. Like I didn't have any problems with him. He was getting to the lane, confident in his shot. He was trying to set people up, even though I think he only had a couple assists. But it's the way that he played. He was solid. How comfortable I am going forward? I think I'm pretty comfortable with him, especially since I haven't seen Jordan Clarkson actually do what he was brought here to do, scoring the basketball. We need somebody to, and plus, since we didn't have Brogdon anymore, we need somebody to facilitate that offense coming off the bench, other than somebody like Josh Hart. Like, I think Josh would probably do it a little bit when he comes off the bench and healthy. But Tyler Kolek, these are the minutes that he's supposed to be getting right now. I think this is part of his maturation process.
All right, Ajay.
Well, I'm comfortable with him, and I'm going to go back to the fact that the coach trusts him to be in that position. Listen, man, we got PTSD from not just Tibbs, but from other coaches in the league. When the bench players starting to lose the lead and everybody panics, and then they come back with the starters, that was completely the opposite of Mike Brown. Did the complete opposite of that. And he played pretty. He scored 7 points in about 14 minutes, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good output, especially for a point guard whose job is to distribute the ball. And he did a lot of, he did distribute, and he did score when he needed to score. When he had an opening, he took the shot, and he was. I don't know how his efficiency was, but I feel like he had a couple of.
He was 3 of 6 from the field, 1 for 3.
Oh, so see, 50%. So that's pretty good. Hopefully we can get that kind of production from him. In 12, 14 minutes a game. That's a good way to bring him up. I mean, we do expect Jalen Brunson to play more minutes as the season go on, but I'm very comfortable with him. When I watched him in the preseason, I was like, oh man, okay, this kid's not ready yet. But come the regular season, right now, based on yesterday's game, it looks like he's he could play. He could give us that 12, 13, 14 minutes. of production. Queen, before you go to somebody else, I want to remind the chat that like this is a very respectful community. Watch how you all communicate with each other. Okay, we don't need to be moderating you guys. If you need moderated, we'll just get rid of you. Like you have to be able to talk to each other and express each other without insulting each other personally. So,
it's Ajay, there's 3 dots next to a person's name, and then you get the drop down window where you could delete the comment, put user in timeout, or ban user and delete their comments.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have to do that, right?
No,
like,
we shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
but
we shouldn't have
know what your options. You
All
know
right.
what your options.
All right, so
are.
All right.
If we have to. Yeah, when we open up the phone lines, we'll let you know, and the phone call should be probably 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, Geoff. Oh no, Ajay, would you want to say something else before you?
No, I said
that?
I did. We
so
talk about Kolick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even looking at the comments today. I find I'm more focused when I don't. Geoff?
I think Geoff froze.
Geoff is in twilight.
Yeah, he
Sorry, I got that country time. The internet.
Oh yeah, he good.
Country time lemonade, country time Wi-Fi.
So, what were we talking about? I lost the thread when I lost the.
Your thoughts on Kolick's play last night, and how comfortable are you going forward?
Not super comfortable, but I mean, when all other options are exhausted, that's kind of whatever's left is what you got to go with. It's the kind of way that I see it. But look, to his kid's credit, he played well last night, and maybe it's one of those situations where when you put him on the court with a bunch of actual NBA rotation players, it lifts his game along with it. I could definitely see him being that type of player. I don't really trust him for 14 minutes a game. I know it worked out in this game, but I mean, small sample size. So hopefully it continues, because if he can fill that role as a backup one, that helps this roster out immensely.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was really good last night. And I said this, and so for those who watched the lunchtime live recap show, this is basically a repeat. I thought Kolick was good last night. I thought he was confident. That pull-up 3, the getting in the lane with the shot off the glass, the pass to Anunoby. I thought he was good. Like I said, I just prefer veteran backup point guards on championship contending team. And that doesn't even mean that Kolick shouldn't play. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just think being tasked as the backup to Brunson is just not a position I would want any young player in. It's not even Kolick. And for me, it's just more about the playoffs, and just really wanting as many tested players as as you can get. But Geoff, to piggyback off your point, this is what it is. It's Deuce, Clarkson, and Kolick. That's how this team is built, and the Knicks feel comfortable with this. And so we'll see how it goes. What's your thoughts on Clarkson and Yabusele both not playing much? They were 2 prime additions this summer. Yabusele got the mid-level exception, at least most of it, I think. Clarkson, we got on the buyout market, anemic bench last year, needing bench scoring, really thinking that those 2 guys would help us in that respect. The Knicks bench scored 35 points, by the way, last night. What's your thoughts? Do you think this is what it's going to be? Do you think that they're just rounding into shape slowly? What's your thoughts on both of them?
I was not impressed with either one of them. And that was just a game for one game. So I don't think either one of them had a game worth talking about. So hopefully they'll put this in in the mirror and then look forward to performing better.
But even in preseason, particularly Yabusele, he's looking like a minimum out there. So maybe him trying to find his role. He's not somebody that can create his own shot, right? So you have to look for him. You have to set him up. He seems to have picked up a little weight since Philly, since Abu Dhabi. No, let me stop. Just joking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird that they came in with such big expectations, at least from the fan base. And, if last night is any indication, they got 12 and 13 minutes or 13 and 14 minutes.
I think Clarkson is. I don't know why I like Yabusele. I know he hasn't been playing well, so don't get me wrong. But Jordan Clarkson, I really thought he was going to be a little bit better. Not, too much better. I didn't think he was going to be, lights out. But, I mean, I think Shaman and Coley played a little bit more minutes than him. And that's kind of shocking with both of those dudes. Like, I don't, Deuce played double the minutes as Clarkson did last night. And he's not hitting. So if he's not hitting, I guess why would he be on the floor? But yeah, I definitely was not impressed with the new additions. Not them two. Couldn't be.
Yeah. Again, just one game. But just an observation, just an observation. Thoughts on Brunson? Brunson's role in the offense. Do you think he'll flourish in this offense, or be good enough that the team flourishes? Just thoughts on Brunson.
Yeah, I actually don't have a problem with him being comfortable. I think it'll just take time, just like it always does. A lot of times Brunson do have slow starts to the season regardless. Mm-hmm. And for him to play badly, we scored 119 points, and he had 23, 5 and 5, I think 23, 5 and 4, something like that. It was around there. But he almost had 25 points, 5 and 5. So for that to be a bad game, he has to be a very good player for that to be the bad game, and his team won and scored almost 120 points. It's almost, I don't know. I can't complain about that one game, and I won't complain about him in general unless it's a lingering thing. He has week long or a couple weeks being off. But I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not. Worried about Brunson. At least not yet.
Anybody else? Geoff, I know. You really broke it down in the sense that he was getting his shots. He just didn't shoot. Didn't shoot well.
Yeah, he's not going to shoot 11% from three for the season. I don't that's just. I don't believe that. I mean, everybody will have games like that, but he's a 40% career shooter from out there. He's gonna knock down those looks, especially when they're wide open in rhythm shots. I mean, to me, I don't worry about Jalen Brunson, and I don't worry about Karl Anthony Towns. They're all NBA players. I have complete faith and confidence that those two guys will figure it out. Now, Clarkson and Yabusele, I think we may have wasted our money on both.
Wow,
Geoff. That's a little more extra than what we said.
Yeah, if Mike Brown is going to, and it looks like this is what he's going to do, if he's going to mix and match the starters with the bench players, I think we'll get away with it. If he wants to start a bench unit, if you don't have Clarkson out there, like who's generating shots? McBride, Yabu, for the most part, need to be set up. Who's doing that, right? So, but it seems like again, he's gonna mix the lineups up and maybe have McBride. You need to have somebody out there that can get into the key and generate looks for others. It's one game though. It's one game. We'll see what happens. I want to talk a little bit about Mitchell Robinson. He played 3 preseason games. And that third one, it was just in the first half. Remember, he didn't come back out in the second half. And I thought, we were struggling a little bit offensively, and maybe Mike Brown just wanted to go with more of a, offensive lineup. In hindsight, I'm thinking that might have been when he got hurt. We haven't seen him since. He's being load managed. How much does Mitchell Robinson not playing impact the team?
I think it impacts the team tremendously. I mean, I think he's our best defensive player, in my opinion. And that's, I think OG's a great defender, and I think McCall is a great defender. But I don't think they can impact the game quite in the same way that Robinson can on the defensive end. So if he's out an extended period of time, it by default affects our defense. I think that this roster is deep enough where we can survive, but I don't think that we get to see the fully actualized version of what this team could be if he misses extended time again. So I'm pretty concerned. Like, there's definitely something wrong. This is not, you don't sit game 1 and game 2 for load management without that. To me, he re-injured something and they're just not wanting to talk about it for whatever reason.
Yeah, like I think as a team, we're good enough to win games without Mitch. I want him for the playoffs. So if that takes putting him in bubble wrap for most of the season, so be it. As long as we make the playoffs whole, I think I'm good with that. I don't think we need Mitch to win regular season games. Not all of them. I think we're too talented to be like losing consistently without Mitch. I think he's very important, especially in like playoff series. It's going to be really hard for, like, we'll be a really, really tough out if Mitchell Robinson is 100% healthy. But if we're going to like force him to play meaningless games, quote unquote, meaningless games in the regular season, and he might not be healthy for that series later on, I'd rather just shelve him. But I also rather them just tell us the truth and not say it's load managing.
Right.
That's what I would want.
Andrew?
I hope it's not load management, man, because if it is load management, that's another indication that something's wrong, that he's not healthy, and they haven't published anything, right, to say what was wrong with him, why he didn't play.
They're listing it as an ankle injury, but it could be that, I read somewhere that you got to list something, right? So right. Maybe, but apparently that's against the rules of the NBA, right? If it's not an ankle injury, so
they usually get away with it by saying like a hurt back or something,
a sore ankle,
usually like a tight back spasms, stuff like that. Not saying that those, right, not saying that those aren't regular injuries, but yeah, if you want to, quote unquote, fake an injury report, yeah, put some up there like that, because you won't question stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, listen, I think with Mitchell Robinson on the team, the Knicks ceiling is higher.
Definitely.
But I still think the Knicks can win a championship with Robinson. You're not going to make me believe that the Knicks can't win the chip without Mitchell Robinson. But is the ceiling higher? Absolutely. Is it easier? Absolutely. But again, my philosophy when you're a championship team and these windows are small, not like they used to be 5-year windows, like these windows to win a championships are quite small. And my philosophy is that you have to mitigate risk. And the Knicks knew Mitchell Robinson's injury history, and either they were comfortable and felt like they could win a championship if he missed the season or if he was out significant time with a Huckporty or Jemison, or that they tried, but there was nothing they can really do, given the salary cap constraints to shore up that position, or they believe that he had turned the corner and he's going to be healthy. But I think if you're really trying to win a championship, you cannot hitch your wagon to Mitchell Robinson. And by that, I mean, you have to see him as gravy. If he's there and he's there to help us, that's fine. If not, we got enough to win. I think that's the approach you have to take with a player like Mitchell Robinson, because when he's healthy, he's good, he's great, but he's not healthy a lot. So you can't come into a season counting on Mitchell Robinson. And that's on the Knicks. Like if the Knicks, if that's the difference between the Knicks, winning a championship, that's on the Knicks, right? That they didn't or couldn't, mitigate that strong possibility. And here we are, one game into the season, and Mitchell Robinson is already hurt. I don't care if they're calling it load management. He's already hurt,
And then he's up for a contract extension, becomes a free agent this summer. You can't, you don't have the cap room to sign another player to replace him, but do you want to go over the second apron to sign a guy who spends more time in a hospital bed than he does on the bench? You know what I mean? It's a difficult situation with Robinson because he is so talented and he can change the upward trajectory of this team for the better.
Absolutely.
When he's healthy. But that, is that even a reality, or is it just one of those situations? Like, is he, Greg Oden, you're just never going to be, or Yao Ming at the end of his career. You know what I mean? It's fair to wonder about that, because it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you play 15 games a year, and then, how ready are you for the playoffs at that point? We always have the discussion about how long is it going to take Mitch to ramp up and be, at his full self. And, he had this great playoff moments last year. He certainly did, that one play against Boston where he guarded all 5 guys and resulted in the block. I mean, those are epic performances, and he's done it multiple series. He did it against Cleveland. He's had, he had a great series against Philadelphia, and so it's kind of a tough situation. You hope that he just misses a few games and then he's back in action, but we have to just focus on the players that are here and can't worry about the ones that are not. I mean,
and I think that's why the extension hasn't been either offered or signed.
Agreed.
Because we talk about putting players in bubble wrap, like this CBA is a little different. When the penalty was just money, you could be like, listen, I'll just pay him. He doesn't play. He get to the playoffs. If we can get anything out of him, it'll be worth it, right? This is a different salary cap situation. You can't play a guy, starters money, who he's not giving you the games or the minutes, So I think that's where they are. There was some rumblings. I don't think this is true, that maybe this is because of the extension, that he's, that he's sitting out, or they don't want to play him. They're trying to devalue him. I don't really think that's the case. I don't think this is related to the contract. Do any of you?
It better not be. That's foolishness if it is. Like,
Yeah, that's dumb.
you got to have your best players on the floor. We want to win a title now. Our championship window is now, and if anybody's paying attention to what's happening in San Antonio, you're going to want to get it done in the next year or two, because the Spurs have 3 players under the age of 22 who look like they're going to dominate this league for a decade. Like, did anybody catch how Wemby, Harper, and Castle were the other night? That was crazy against Dallas. Like, that trio is dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. Let me open up the phone lines. Anybody want to talk about the game yesterday? Anybody want to talk about Mitchell Robinson's injury and whether or not you think the Knicks championship hopes hinges on Mitchell Robinson? I don't. But I do think he raises our ceiling if he is able to play. All right, where are we? Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? We talked about OG's performance being sustainable. We talked about Mitchell Robinson. If anybody wants to add anything else to that, feel free. Talked about the different lineups, the defense. Talked about Bridges, McBride, Porty, Kolick, Yabusele, and Clarkson. Anything else before we get into what we want to see against Boston?
There's a couple of comments. I don't know if you want to go over them.
You can go.
Yeah, not a lot. There's a couple.
Sure. Go ahead. I'm not plugged into the chat tonight.
So, and that, some of those are from earlier on. Dwayne Dennis says, I disagree with Jerrell. I think Mike Brown's system opens up the offense for all players. The system allows everyone to score and be involved, and offense brews good defense.
Yeah, I started that one because I think he must have missed what I said, because that's actually what I said, that everybody would be good in that offense. I like the offense. I love the offense especially compared to last year, the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Just by the way the ball was moving around, and we was talking about that's what it was. We was talking about OG Anunoby specifically, but I said it's not just him. Everybody is going to eat in that offense. I actually like the offense.
All right. Shout out to Dwayne. Thanks for that one. Curtis DeYoung says the player ball movement in this year's offense doesn't depend on the individual shot creators like last year's offense. I don't know that it doesn't.
I just think there's more shot creators.
There's more shot creators, yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Because a shot creator and ISO scoring is two different things, right? So there'll be less ISO scoring, but I think there'll be more shot creation. It'll probably be just from more than just Brunson.
Next one, David Smith said Cat had 19 points and 11 rebounds playing with an injured quad. Pretty amazing. I thought that just to point out that David Smith feels that this is pretty amazing, but Jerrell didn't like the fact that he even mentioned he had an injury. So
yeah,
Jerrell, he didn't even have a bad game, and I agree with your point. Like, a lot of times these guys don't even mention, or they'll tell you, like somebody, like a reporter will ask him, are you okay at that? And they'll tell you, no. They'll brush it off, be like, nah, if I'm here, I'm gonna play, and so on and so forth. But he's like almost, he didn't have a bad game.
All right.
Yeah, right. He's like making excuses, but for what? Like, because he had a decent game,
Right.
It was great in the fourth quarter. He was the bell cow when we made our 14-0 run. He had half those points. So David Smith's not wrong about Cat's game. And we don't win that game without him, I don't think.
Yeah, my stance isn't really even just about Cat. It's just professional athletes in general, like just disclosing injuries for no reason. Like, you can't. It was no reason for him to tell the reporter that.
Yeah.
Even if it was true. Sometimes you're just gonna have to lie or not say anything at all.
Yeah. Like,
why would you tell like the type of grade that the injury is? I thought it was weird. He had to do that.
And part 2 from David Smith, who at that point we didn't mention Brunson yet. He just wanted us to talk about the Brunson 1 for 9. I don't know, like, why. And David Smith, you call in if you want to talk about Brunson's 1 for 9. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, do you want us to bash him because he had a 1 for 9 game? I mean, he still scored, you know, just not from the field. He scored from the line, which is very good. That means he was aggressive. He wasn't shooting well, so he did the next best thing, is going to the line and get fouled. That's what good players do. That's what great players do. When your shot's not falling, you find other ways to contribute to the game, and that's what Jalen Brunson did. You know, when you look at the final stats, he had a pretty good game. All right. But thank you for the comment. And A-Train 047, resilience also comes from coach trusting his players. And I was trying to make that point earlier, and I thought that was very important, that day one, that coach Mike Brown, he's letting these guys know, man, I trust you no matter what point of the game. If I call upon you to come and do your job, come and do your job. And he did that, and he showed it. He showed that he's willing to risk losing a game. Granted, it's a regular season game, but that's important because that's the first game of the season. And, you know, the Kolick lineup, they lost the lead. He kept them in the game. He called a timeout, came back with the same guys. Same guy. He made whatever adjustment he made on the bench, came back with the same guys, and they went back, took the lead. So I thought that was very important to set that tone from day one. All right, so thanks for that comment. And finally, he's Blue Drew says, I actually think Jameson will get that spot. What do you guys think?
This Porty's starting spot, or when Mitch doesn't play?
Yes,
I like Jameson. I like him.
I mean, I like him. Some people say that he should, you know, be starting over Huck Porty. I don't know if I would go that far.
I disagree with that. I like Huck Porty. Like, he did a pretty decent job starting yesterday. I don't know what they see in his game that they didn't like.
I don't think either one of them are starting caliber centers in the league yet, though.
Yeah, but between the two, Jerrell, like,
between the two, yeah, you're right. I would pick Huck Porty right now, to be honest. But it's not like I'm, you know, not a fan of Jameson. I think he just needs to play more and get more season. Like I looked him up. I didn't really know that much about him, but like he's been on like 5 teams in like 2 years. Like he's just been passed around. So I think he just needs to solidify, you know, a roster spot somewhere and actually lock in and get better. Like he's not going to get better just going from team to team. Like I think he got, you know, just getting waived, going to another team, getting waived, going to another team. Once he, you know, if he does solidify a spot on this roster, I think he'll be even better. But yeah, right now he's just a third string center in my eyes.
Yep.
Is that it?
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, you doing the chat or you doing your paper for tomorrow?
I thought,
like, yeah, that's it. I'm like, well.
I don't know. I thought.
AJ forgot what he was doing. He was like, "Oh yeah. I ain't want nothing else. I'm good." Oh, okay, my bad.
That was it.
Everybody tired tonight.
We're still in preseason mode here.
That's what it was.
I thought somebody else was gonna comment. I was like, I thought Geoff was gonna say something.
We were still in the preseason. That's all. We'll be all right. Like this time in about 20 games, we gonna be sharp just like the Knicks are.
A-Train said you just fell asleep on defense.
You got backdoored, AJ. Come on, man.
Call him Yabusele.
Wiz has a question for us. Shout out to Wiz.
Yeah, that OKC game is just OKC. They going to second overtime. That's their second game of the season.
I'm watching between that and football. I'm watching both games at the same time and doing it.
I'm not watching the Chargers game. I was watching it earlier before the show.
Wiz said, "What if there's an offer for Mitch and possibly Hart on the table? What would you accept?"
What,
I mean,
bring it in what? Like what's the other side of that deal?
Yeah,
That's what he's asking.
Oh, he said, "What would you accept?"
I think he's saying if you were packaging them together for $32 million worth of salary, what would you bring back? I think that's his question.
How much Giannis making?
More than that.
Way more than that. Like if it's $32 million, if we bring back like $32 million, that's a starter somewhere.
There's a player that Houston, I don't know, is it Eason who's they're not signing to an extension?
Tari Eason.
Yeah, the money won't match at all though.
I
Like,
know.
he on his rookie deal. So
I know, but
that
can
ain't gonna
I
work.
just have a long linking
Oh, my bad.
player that plays defense, even if he's not a great shooter?
Oh yeah, if you talk about like perfect candidates that wouldn't make sense business wise, but we can get we can do that all night. Like there's mad players in the league that I want, Steph. Whole bunch of players that I like.
How much is Dante making?
That's what I just said.
That's another
We had to get somebody else. Yeah, that's like that wouldn't match either. I love Dante back though, but one of our guards got to go though. If we get Dante, ain't no point of getting Dante if we still got like
make that trade. You've got to be getting a front court player of some capacity, maybe two, like a center and a power forward. If you're sending both of them out of town,
right?
That are really one really good power forward who's going to soak up a ton of minutes, and then you shift.
Hold on, Jeff. How much Nas Reed just signed for?
That I don't know, but I don't think Minnesota's parting with Nas Reed.
Depending on how much like Mitchell Robinson.
I guess so.
But
I don't see why they'd need him if they have Rudy Gobert, but
that's true. It's kind of redundant.
That's another thing. Yeah,
that's true.
But Mitch if Mitch is injured, and I'm guessing that he's hard to move. I think you just have to.
Yeah, it's got to be a red flag right now. I don't think anybody's going to be trading for a guy they don't even know if he's going to be on the board.
Unless they're looking for cap relief. Right?
Yeah, salary
season.
Yeah, but I hate the fact that since Mitch isn't available for most of the season, most of the time, we always have to talk about him in this capacity. Like that's the thing.
It's frustrating.
Like it's almost like we almost have to talk negatively about him just because of his availability. Because he doesn't play enough for us to talk about how good he is at what he does. That's the only frustrating part about it. I'm tired of, like we've been talking about like us getting something from Mitchell Robinson for the past 3 seasons because he's not available, not because we didn't want him on the team. And for a fan, that's frustrating for me.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time when I was critical of his skill set, but again, I think that's mitigated by this team, though.
Right. We have more scorers. We don't need him to be a scoring.
Yeah,
right.
Can't hit free throws, take them out. We got others who can. Right. This team is just built different, where you can and that's the same for a lot of other players on this team, where you can take advantage of their strengths and mitigate the weaknesses.
Wiz said De'Aaron Fox, Trey Murphy.
De'Aaron Fox is available?
Well, he just signed an extension, but it's not like they need him. But it ain't like we need him either, though.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Fox and Brunson seems awfully redundant,
but Trey Murphy III, and I get it. The money may not work. We just wishing out loud, dreaming out loud.
Yeah, perfect scenarios, even if they don't make sense.
Yeah. I do like me some Trey Murphy III, though.
I like Trey Murphy too.
Oh yeah.
Trey Murphy, Herb Williams. Is it Williams?
Jones.
Herb Jones. Herb Williams is the guy. Herb Williams is still on the Knick bench, I think. He's the forever Knick assistant.
Herb Williams got a suit on right now. Like what? It's 11:15 on the East Coast. He got a suit on right now somewhere.
Yeah. and Eason, Jones, and Trey Murphy sign me up. They have their limitations in their own right. I think. Yeah, I mean Herb Jones is a little and Eason, right? A little limited offensively, right, in terms of shooting. Um, Murphy's a shooter, but I don't think he's and a decent defensive player, good defensive player. I don't know if he's somebody that's putting the ball on the floor. I haven't seen him. His game could have developed since the last time I saw him.
Yeah, but if you watch that San Antonio game, I'm just still thinking about the De'Aaron Fox comment. Like, if you see that San Antonio game, I could see why they would trade him.
But why? Yeah,
they don't need him. They don't need him, and that's saying like he's an all-star and they don't need him. That's how good their young players are. Like, they got 2 young guards, just like Geoff said, are like under 20 years old and it might be on the all-star team this year. Capable, like they have the capabilities of it. So yeah, if he's making that much money, yeah, I'd trade him and get another piece. That would make more sense for his team. Because Wemby isn't. Wemby looked like you playing 2K and you just did a creative player. Like, he doesn't even look real.
He can finish anything. He turns into a dunk. Like, he's inside the 3-point arc, and he just go gadget arms it into the rim. Like, it's like, it's that performance was one for the ages. I was so impressed. I think he had 40 points on 21 shots. I mean, just like 16 of 21 or something, like hyper efficient, just like embarrassing. A really good defensive front court in Dallas. It's not like they're playing the Celtics or something like that who don't have a big. Like, Dallas has really good bigs, and he just made them look stupid. Like, Derek Lively is a terrific defensive player, did not belong in the same court. And then they tried Anthony Davis, who's also a very good, and he couldn't do anything with him either. Like,
he crossed over.
He's a 3 though. Like, Wemby is just not a 5.
Nah, he crossed over.
Yeah,
Derek Lively.
Not a 5.
He crossed him over, stepped back, and he got fouled for a 4-point play. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is he doing? Like, like that's not supposed to happen. Like, it looked crazy.
That's crazy.
He made Anthony Davis look like he was a small forward.
He does.
Small forward, though. He'll just shoot over the top, but he's gonna shoot over the top anyway. You can't play him with a power forward or a center.
Yeah,
but he was going to the basket last night. He wasn't really, like, most of his points were on dunks and layups and lobs, and like it wasn't like, I mean, I think he had 1 3-pointer the whole night, and it was an and one, as Jerrell said, and I think he hit one corner like a 15-footer from the baseline for his 40th point, and I think that was his most difficult shot of the night. Everything else was just like him just dominating off the dribble, getting into the paint, and just crushing it.
If you're playing a big, it's easy to get into the lane because they don't have that lateral quickness and that foot speed. He's a small forward, Don't get fooled by his height. He's a small forward, just like Kevin Durant. He's not Kevin Durant. He's a little older now.
Blocking small forward then. He's a superb shot blocking small forward then.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He's the best shot blocker in the league nearly. He had 3 blocks last night.
Listen, last season I was watching the San Antonio game. I forgot who was calling the game. He said Wemby falls in sections. It's like he fell. It's like he's like he's out there like a transformer, like falling in.
Every time he fall on the ground, you gotta hold your breath.
Yeah.
Would y'all take Harrison Barnes from the Spurs? No,
absolutely not.
It's over.
It's a wrap.
Dog track time for Harrison. Good player once upon a time, but not anymore.
Tari Eason turned down a $100 million contract. Houston was lowballing him $100. Listen, I like Tari.
$100 million.
I like Eason. Lowballing though, $100 million for 5 years. That's $20 million.
Josh Hart contract.
Yeah, I guess in today's NBA, he may feel like he's,
I don't think he's as good as Josh Hart, but maybe I just haven't seen enough of Tari Eason. I don't know. Is he that good?
he's better than Josh Hart in certain areas. Like he's a defender, long wing. Like he's everything Josh isn't, or everything Josh plays like, but he isn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
So he would fit in well with us. He would
Absolutely.
definitely fill a need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Coach Launch Tears. Appreciate you. Coach being in the chat. Only player we should be looking at replacing that we losing and what we need, another big and another quality wing. Yeah.
Sounds like Eason would be the quality wing. So
yeah.
I mean
hold on. Is that true? If you don't, I guess it depends on if you are fully comfortable. Like with the question that we asked earlier, are you fully comfortable with Tyler Kolek being your primary, backup point guard going forward for the rest of the season? Because if you're not comfortable with that, then you would probably add another backup point guard to that too. And Tyler Kolek won't get any minutes.
Those were my three. When me and Anthony did our first show, Court Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the three things I pointed out: point guard, a wing with size, and another big. But listen, in all fairness to the front office, they may have tried to do all of those things, and there was really nobody out there that they felt was better than what they had, or that they maybe needed to give up too much to get them. And, maybe there was salary cap considerations. I mean, we don't know. But those were the three things I outlined coming into the season. Not just Mitch, Cat too. Cat has a significant injury history as well.
Yep.
And a grade 2 quad strain.
And he played with injuries,
broken thumb last year and knee injuries last year too. So hey, I don't think he's soft though. Like I think he plays hurt all the time. Like I actually have more. Like he had a reputation when we traded for him. Oh, he's Mr. Sharman, tissue paper soft, but he plays. I mean, he plays through injury, plays hurt. I respect guys like that. I mean, his game is not that of a power player. I'll say that, but I mean, there's nothing. There's just because you're a finesse big doesn't make you soft necessarily.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I like Hope. I like Cat. We'll see. I need him to. I'm interested to see him on the defensive end. Seems like what Mike Brown is doing is you just need to get to your spots. I also noticed there was a lot of switching on the picks as opposed to fighting over screens. I think that does help. Obviously, if you do that a lot, teams will figure out a way to exploit that as well. So you do have to mix it up. But yesterday, that's what they were doing. Last night.
That helps Bridges though too, because Bridges tends to die on screens a lot. So he has trouble fighting through them sometimes. So it plays more to Bridges' skill set, in my opinion, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody said, I don't know if I agree with this. Shout out to Dwayne Dennis, 8086, rocking with us. Mitchell Robinson is just needed for the playoffs for defensive purposes. Listen, money matters in this salary cap era. I mean, if you're talking about in the last year of his contract, that's fine. But if you're talking about extending him, and as long as he just, for the length of his contract, shows up for the playoffs, I just don't think that's the best way to use your money, to use your cat. Okay. Let's see if it'll work today. And we did this earlier today.
Hold on,
we tested it before the show, right?
We tested it before the show. It was working perfectly, and now all of a sudden we get the robot thing again. So I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it either. Nick Yak says if it wasn't for the doctors now, Mitch would have played. Doctors want to hold out Cat, but Cat won. Nick Yak, so you saying that you think he's healthy and they're just being cautious? What's your thoughts on that? I can even hear it in my ear going
Hear it
in
too.
and out.
We can hear it.
To accept 1, send a voicemail 2.
Hello?
Yeah, even the ring was choppy. I say
Well,
that song don't go like that.
Jerrell,
It does now.
Jerrell, that was the remix.
yeah, Coach, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know what's going on. We tried it before the show.
Worked perfect.
Man.
Yeah, JJ is on.
Sorry, guys.
Copy. Sorry. I don't really know what else to.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row. And we actually did check it before the show started.
We did. But I was asking Nick Yak if he felt that Mitch was did he think Mitch was hurt, or they just being super careful with him?
And I also think if Cat was really that injured and the doctors didn't want him to play, I don't think he would have played.
But Wiz, you don't see a little duplication between Brunson and De'Aaron Fox?
PG Barnes.
And he's a max, right? They didn't they sign him to a max contract?
Pretty sure they did.
I believe so. I mean, who else is getting paid on that team? Everybody's so young.
What a waste of money.
No, but you have to spend it. And that's the thing. And then you probably didn't have many options.
What if all the running in camp and preseason, his ankle is a little, yeah.
But if that's the case, that's still
Mitch.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's still like
running in camp and playing 45 minutes in the preseason and your ankle is like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from what Mitch does when he is healthy, particularly on this particular team. Like I said, that can mitigate the things he doesn't do well. But it starts with availability, you know? Yeah, I don't know. All right. Anything else? Oh, just quickly, we play Boston.
Yeah, I was going to say we should talk about the Boston game since it's tomorrow.
Yeah, let's talk about the Boston game.
You still want to do the slide?
I thought I had the slides here. Oh,
there you go.
All right. So Boston is 0-1. They lost a close one to Philly last night. And this was their starting lineup last night. Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, Neemias. How do you pronounce that, Geoff?
Queta.
Neemias Queta. And I have Ariel Haporti at forward, but he played center last night. Thoughts on the matchup? It is at Madison Square Garden. What are you looking for?
I don't think this is a game we need to start, Ariel, actually. I think this is a time we can afford to go small. And I would put Deuce in the starting lineup and I think you can play small against this group and be just fine. I don't think that Queta or Hauser can do anything to Karl Anthony Towns. I think he can get whatever shot he wants. They have terrific guards on the perimeter, so having Deuce at the point of attack, I think, would be helpful for us, and from that aspect. And so, to me, I think that I wouldn't start Haporti, or I would, if you did, I would limit those minutes severely because I don't think it's the same matchup like Cleveland with the Twin Towers. It's the opposite. So That's how I would play it.
I totally agree. I don't think we should play big against them because I think they're a completely different team than Cleveland. So if he does go with the same lineup, and like I said earlier, like it's not like Porty played a lot of minutes. He only played like 18 minutes, and we went small anyway. So I guess if he did start just to see and not to, fix something that wasn't broken, maybe. But I agree with Geoff though.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's thinking, he wants to, instead of trying to match up with them, he's trying to create matchup problems for them. But Ariel Hukporty, like he's just more of a defender, rebounder, right? So it's not like, I'm not sure how much of an advantage you get playing him playing him at the center spot. So yeah, I agree with that. I think Boston is going to be motivated to play the Knicks, even without Jason Tatum. I think we're going to get their best game. They're not deep. Luka Garza is hurt. They lost Cornette. They lost Horford. They lost
KP.
They lost, even though he's not a big Drew Holiday. This is a totally different team. They also have Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons came off the bench for them, and he played well for them. So they have a few other plays as well, but they'll be highly motivated.
Pritchard always kills us, and White's going to have a big game too. It'll be interesting to see how Jaylen Brown looks with this. I think he's dealing with a hamstring issue, so I'm sure it'll magically repair itself for the Knick game. But
I thought he would be out for the beginning of the season. I was surprised he played. I think Brown got banged up, might not play. Okay.
I'm just glad we're gonna start the season 2-0.
3-0.
2-0.
3-0. Because we're gonna play Miami Sunday.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Miami Sunday.
You look a little bit further than I am, so yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, and they already, Terry Rozier was arrested.
Yeah, man. What's
FBI
that? Chauncey Billups?
Chauncey Billups. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we got to be. I don't know if as fans if we should be looking ahead, but
let's just beat Boston on Friday. Worry about Sunday has enough troubles of its own. Let's just take care of business on Friday. It's still the league. Any team can beat you if you're not, focused and ready to go. Let's just take care of business. I'll smash these guys. Beat them by like 50. As far as I'm concerned, we owe them big time from last year's opener. Still, I know I sound like Aj.
Jeff, come on, man. Jeff, we eliminated them, man. Come on, that's enough.
Not enough, bro. Do you know how much misery the Celtics have dealt this organization over the years?
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to that. 7:30 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Nah, man, great show. Salute to the chat. They always active. I wasn't, looking at the chat earlier when the show first started, but I started about an hour ago. They still the chat.
Fire all night.
Yeah, they still the chat.
They got the David Smith got the Ewing Karl Anthony Towns comparison going, and of course, Karl Anthony Towns is the best player to ever play for the Knicks. All right, yeah.
Quick hey, and y'all make sure that y'all are checking out Jerrell's show on Tuesday, Die Hard Giants. I know it was a tough one against Denver, but he still does a great job, and you should still drop by and drop a like and support his show, because I'm not even a Giants fan, and I always try and stop by and drop a like because he does a great job, and he knows a whole lot about football, even if it doesn't pay him back what he pays into it. But,
thank you, Jeff. The only thing is, if you go over there Tuesdays at 9 o'clock, it's a little more cursing because the Giants. That's what the Giants do to us over there.
we were on there. We didn't curse. We didn't curse on that.
I did. I definitely did. Yeah. I did like 5 times last show. I just do it real smooth and slick. That's all.
What time the Giants play Sunday?
I think 1 o'clock. Eagles.
Good, because the Knicks play at 6.
Oh, we play Sunday?
We play Sunday. We play Miami. We're
Sunday.
in Miami Sunday, and Miami is without Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Robinson is no longer there as well.
Yeah, but they got Norman Powell now, so
they do have Norman Powell. I like Norman Powell too.
I think he's a good player. He played well against the Magic, I thought. They didn't beat Orlando, but I don't think you can really hold that against them. Orlando going to beat a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, it's just interest. It's just good to watch the Knicks. I was gonna say win or lose, but no, we need to win. But we need to win. Yeah, but it's just I'm just curious about this team. Looking forward to the games.
I thought you were saying it's just good to watch teams like Miami suffer. That's what I thought you was gonna say. I was like, yes, yeah.
Oh boy. Anyway, shout out to the chat.
Yes,
I'm a little tired, or I would, I would do a few.
How come they all have like weird 4-digit numbers after their names now? Like it's now JJ2552.
It shows the YouTube name for
what is StreamYard doing? Why are they?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not StreamYard.
It's YouTube.
That's YouTube.
Oh, it's YouTube.
Because I'm looking at it on YouTube and StreamYard. Like I don't know if they changed something. YouTube, I mean, but it's like
some of them are still the same. But yeah, like no, they all. It's like size 9 and size 9.
But Dwayne Dennis has 8086.
Yeah.
JJ 2552.
And David Smith, that's like he got like a VPN. Like VPN.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. East Blue Drew 1664. Like
why you 1664, East Blue Drew?
No, I think it's randomly.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. It's like random. Like A Train 047. I know A Train didn't pick 047. There's no way.
Hey, all y'all got spy code names now.
Yeah.
But not everybody.
It's all revealed now. We know who you are.
Yeah.
So like we getting spied on, Steph. I don't know about this. Like your Cleveland boys over there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? You go bring the Cleveland boys over there.
That's exactly it.
You guys got to check. They have the dynamic between them is so it was killing Jerrell. He said 28 minutes, 4 rebounds.
There she go recruiting people for Cleveland.
Anyway, I appreciate you all. Geoff and I will be back Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we should start saying that, right? Because we have Knick fans all over the place. For the recap show. Then we'll be back Monday also, 12:30, because the we play Miami. Monday night, Ajay and I will be going on for the weekly pregame, previewing next week's games for the Knicks. That'll probably be just an hour show. That's what I say. Ajay says it's going to be like 2 hours. But I'm really just trying to, let everybody know who we're playing, what's the record like, what's the narratives around the teams, and move on. And then AD and I will be going on after that at 9 for court conversations. So he just texted me today that he wants to talk. So that show with AD, we may talk Knicks, we may talk NBA, we may talk sports in general, we may talk some sports and culture, things like that. So he already texted me that he wants to talk about the gambling probe, giving me homework because I'm not plugged into things like that. So I said, all right. So now I got to spend some time.
And you got to have your P's and Q's together if you're talking to Anthony D. That boy knows his stuff.
AD ain't playing. He don't be playing.
AD don't play.
Yeah. He be pulling out 1984 game 2 when we played against the Phil. I'm like,
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah, that's a fact.
At the 3-minute 26 mark.
Exactly. I'm like, oh man. So I will do my homework. So yeah. But that show it's just really two friends shooting the shit. That's all it is, you know. But it's fun. All right. Until next time, family.
Peace.
Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Don't so,
Where you at? Where you at?
don't so,
Where you at? Where you at?
don't so,
What?
don't so.
What?